Hey, Scott Austin here from Jade Puma. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can style your buttons in your linear shopping experiences. So I'm in the admin of my Shopify store, and I'm going to open up the linear shopping experiences app. And I'm going to go to the settings tab. And what you'll see here are two boxes where we can input text for button classes. And I'll explain classes in a second. And these are pre-filled with some commonly used classes. So I'm going to go out to the front end of a store for Jade Puma and just show you an example of how classes work. So here, this is the Flex theme, and the Flex theme has three different button styles, let's call them, that we can use. This one they call the primary, this one they call the secondary, and this one they call the add to cart. And each one can have different colors and hover colors. The border radius can be different. And so you can see here, you can get three very different looking displays. Now this is done through classes, right? So classes is an HTML function where we just put a little text of what the class is. And now if I right click on this one here, I'm in a Chrome browser and I hit inspect, it'll bring up this code view of that page, and you'll see here, right, this button, which is an href, has a class of button and button dash dash primary. And this secondary button here has a class of button dash dash secondary. And the add to cart button has a class of button dash dash add to cart. So those are classes in this theme. Now, different themes will use different classes. So what we've tried to do in the app is predefine the commonly used classes for the buttons, right? So it used to be the button classes, a lot of them were BTN. Now most of them are actually button, B-U-T-T-O-N. And then the button dash dash secondary and the button dash dash primary are common conventions. I think all of the free themes in Shopify use that convention. Not all themes will have an add to cart different button class. The Flex theme, as you saw here, had those three classes. But if I go into the Dawn theme, which I'm using in this store, and go to Customize Theme and bring up the color scheme here, you'll see that there's two types of buttons. One which is a solid background button and the other one which is an outline button. So here's the solid background button, which ends up being the primary. And then the secondary has an outline instead. So in the app, what you're going to want to do is check the settings and see how they render based on the classes that your theme is already using. For most themes, it's just going to work and look pretty good. But you can go ahead and customize it if you have a custom theme or a theme that doesn't follow the conventions in these predefined classes we put in. Now let's talk about how these buttons actually show up. So here in settings, you don't see buttons. We have to be in the theme to view that CSS for those button classes. And we're not in the theme customization here. So if instead we go out to the front end of that website, I'm going to click on the Add to Cart button, and that's going to bring up the linear shopping experience modal. So here you can see the Get Wax and No Thanks. Those are the two buttons. Remember I said in the Dawn theme, there's a solid button and an outline button, and that's what it's using here. So even though it shows as a text string here, if you've got the classes assigned appropriately, they will actually show up as buttons to your customers on the website. And you can also see that when you're inside a theme customization too. So if you don't like what you're seeing here, what you need to do is go to your website and then look at your button classes. So if you want your first button, the one that said Get Waxed, to match this color here, that's this button right here, right? All you have to do is check the class of this button. Right click, hit inspect, and then I find the class. And there you can see button dash dash primary. Now button dash dash primary was one of the strings we're already using. But that's where you go to your website, to your theme, you figure out what your classes are, and then you can put them in here, and then your buttons in the linear shopping experience modal will match the buttons in the rest of your store. So that's how you can add your custom CSS, figure out which CSS is the right one, put it into your linear shopping experiences settings to get your buttons and your modals looking the same as the rest of your website. Thanks for watching.